I am a PE teacher in California. I have been stalked by the same young man for over 10 years. Originally I taught his lessons. He would watch me constantly. Every time I looked over my shoulder he was there with his eyes on me. He clearly was attracted to me and really he was doing nothing wrong, so I couldn't do anything at the time. Things in my office started to go missing. Pens, memory sticks, water bottles. Even my work waterproof jacket that was provided to me by the school was gone. The memory stick containing lots of work-related files including photographs was suspicious, however I thought that maybe I had misplaced it. Eventually when my water bottle went missing I began to feel suspicious. Surely nobody would have taken it? How did it go missing from my desk? No explanation I thought of could explain it. The final straw was when my work waterproof coat went missing. There wasn't anything particularly interesting about the coat. It was black and had the words of the school I work at printed on the back and my initials and the school logo on the front. It had been quite a hot summer, so I left it on the back of my chair whilst I was teaching. When the heat wave ended and it began raining I needed it for a lesson. It was gone. I spoke to multiple members of staff. All of them had no idea what could have happened. Originally I thought maybe a work colleague was stealing my things. I got a new waterproof coat to replace it and left it on the back of my seat. With permission from the principal, a camera was placed up in secret to record what happened. The thing that it captured made me feel sick to my stomach. The student who had been watching me so much entered the office during lunch hours when all the staff were on their lunch break. He stripped naked. He began wiping his thing across my desk, computer keyboard and all over my coat. He humped the coat for a while before stashing it in his backpack and leaving. Obviously the situation was severe. Both myself and the head of the school were worried about the legal ramifications of placing a camera up on school grounds and recording what we had recorded. Both of us were panicked and we decided to delete the footage. The student was disciplined, however we didn't ask for the items to be returned. The entire situation felt very gross and uncomfortable. The stalking while I was at work continued. I dreaded lessons with him, so got him moved on to a different class to avoid that specific student. I would still see him when I was on duty walking around the school or on the way to teach my lessons. It was always uncomfortable how his eyes stared right through me. It made me feel genuinely sick, but I loved my job and didn't want to move because of one bad student. All he was doing was looking at me after all. I downplayed it in my mind and continued teaching. A couple of days before he graduated he had let himself into my office again and stolen multiple items including a walkie-talkie, various coats and whistles from my drawer. I had no proof it was him, but it was obvious. Instead of trying to discipline him I decided to not mention it to the head teacher. I just wanted the boy gone. He graduated and I thought that would be the last I saw of him. Life continued as normal and I felt like it had been over with. I was later contacted by a girl on Facebook almost 5 years later. She told me that the guy she had been dating was obsessed with me. It turned out she was dating the creepy boy who had been stealing my possessions while I was teaching at the school. She told me he had a hard drive filled with photographs of me. Some photos were saved from the school website, others taken from my original memory stick. Many were from my private social media account, which he had somehow gained access to by pretending to be someone from my college. She told me how he places himself in positions in the bushes to watch me during PE lessons. This terrified me enough to make me delete all my social media. The stalking, however, didn't stop. I began to notice him following me outside. I would go to sports events with the school I worked at and would see him in the crowd watching me. He would never approach me, but it always unsettled me. Eventually I approached him and asked him what the hell his problem was. He just responded by calling me ma'am and saying how he wanted to hook up with me. I told him to stop following me many times, but it just wouldn't sink into his head. I got police involved, but they failed to act. If you search up Mrs. and then my last name, it comes up with graphic stories he's written about me hooking up with him. They're gross and complete lies. Anyone can see these stories from just searching my name and PE teacher. It was enough to drive me out of my job and quit teaching PE forever. I ended up leaving my dream job because of him. I moved far away to escape him. I live every day scanning my surroundings for him. I worry that one day he's going to hunt me down and try to kill me. Police just don't take any of this seriously. I love teaching. I just don't feel able to teach anymore because of what has been written about me online, combined with the fact I'm certain he'll follow me to a different school.